Hey, Uncle Don.
Come on, my gal.
Miami with it.
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Okay.
You flex, you won't talk about what you had to leave the house without your wife.
Yeah,
Damn, sexy as hell.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, beat up by your nigga now.
Ooh, my nigga. Okay. Oh, you with the shit, huh?
What the shit?
Ooh.
Big Florida shit, you heard.
You putting out your body? Okay, we ain't gonna do that here.
It's the Date Master, and yes, we're back. Oh, yes, we're back in the building. I know it's been a few days. I get it. We had our spring trip for our mentoring organization, as we do every year. I may start putting some of that out because I think when you're doing good work, it should be on display for motivation and for exposure, any way you can get it. But we took our boys to Houston, Texas, for 4 days, about a seven bedroom Airbnb, TVs and all that everywhere. Went to the Houston Rockets game, went zip lining, went to a few spots. But, I may start putting some of our works out there. If not, you can just catch us on Facebook or Instagram at C4 Mentoring. You'll see all the action. But shall we get down to business? As you know, we are in the spring break season. I know a lot of the consumers of the content that I make and others alike, are more younger. We have an older generation that pretty much going to phase out. A few smart ones will come back just for a relief of understanding. They may be too late or have already went through a lot of the things that we teach and a lot of the things that we speak on how to avoid. They've already went through them. I went through a lot of them, which is why I'm in the position I am in today and why I'm speaking to you guys today. But we're in the spring break season. Your girls, your girlfriends or whatever are going on their spring trips. And people think that spring trips are just regulated to people in high school, college, elementary, so forth. You have adults that you got to understand how programming and conditioning works. Since you can remember, let's say 18 years, 6 to 22, 23 when you graduate college, you've been given a spring break. So a lot of people do not break out of that routine. So they may not follow the school crowd, but they go to the adult playgrounds, if you will. Some of these adult playgrounds, some cities like Miami, Cancun, Vegas, Panama City, which was, back in the G for those who know, Atlanta. It's different places because you must understand the variety of background and personality. Houston, Dallas. Yes, you will have these hot spots like Miami. Anything around a beach, that's going to be a hot spot. Miami, other parts of Florida, there are hot spots to get the largest crowd because of the amenities in which it provides. You have a beach, you have unlimited party hours, unlimited parties. You have a strip of bars, restaurants, clubs, etc., in which you can pick. So these hot spots, such as Miami, you see the young lady at the beginning of the video pretty much living her best life. So her boyfriend may not have a clue that, she's on this type of time. But let's not limit it just to her boyfriend. This could be just you understanding that I've always said how a woman is when she's single is how she is going to be in a relationship. So what do I mean? Her character, because what we'll do, we'll say, well, I can whore around. I can do this because I'm single. Even as a man, I'm not going to be looking to jump in bed with any and every chick that is willing to. Because what value would you have if every woman had access to you? What type of value would you have? Now, people can say, well, the quantity of women a man can get speaks to his sexual marketplace value. Okay, yes. But two things can be true at the same time. You can become a type of individual to where quality will supersede quantity in any and every aspect of your life. The women you choose, the cars you drive, the clothes you wear, the places you stay. And it's a mindset that you will want to keep yourself preserved. You will want to be very selective and picky because you've seen how your fallen brothers have panned out in a lot of these cases. But stop cuffing hoes. You must stop cuffing hoes because cuffing hoes gives a woman power. Because what you do, unfortunately, this is nature. See, again, I may have spoken on this in some previous videos. What you do affects someone else. I say that again. What you do and condone impacts someone else, directly or indirectly. Because women talk. Women are creatures of, I would say, sharing, if you will. Women share everything: information, men, clothes, hair, shoe, everything. So how you handle your woman is going to be used against you if you don't handle her properly, and if you don't choose the best women to get into a relationship with. See, it's one thing about dealing with a woman, having fun. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that, But you guys try to wife and cuff these chicks that are not in the position to be cuffed. They have not displayed any behavior that tells you to cuff them other than their sex, more than likely. So you see this woman having the time of her life. And I cut this video short. I think when it went off, it was like maybe 9 different guys, 7. It was a high number. And you must ask yourself, what activates a woman's inner hoe? What turns a woman into a hoe? Have we had this conversation? I don't know if we have. But what turns a woman into a hoe, it starts in many places. One, daddy issues play a huge role in a woman's promiscuity, because the relationship she has with her father will be the outlook on how she views any and every man she deals with outside of him. If she's not aware of this, she's pretty much going to be promiscuous because she's already going to have a slight disdain for men because, again, of her lack of having a father. So she's going to treat men as if you owe me for what my father did not provide to me. Meanwhile, her nature's kicking in because she wants you to be her dad and her lover. Yeah, these weird dad-daughter relationships in some cases, which is not a relationship, it's a missing relationship. So she looks to the man, so she's trying to date him, and at the same time, she's looking for him to be her dad. The discipline, the sternness, but then the softness, the sweetness. This is why you go into these vortex of not being able to please her, because that's why you go into the relationship anyway. You think going into it and committing to her is going to please her when it's the other way around. She has to commit to you, not you commit to her. So she already has a disdain for men, so she goes through these scenarios with these men, multiple men, and neither of them pan out to what idea she has conjured up in her mind. So as each man leave, the darker her heart gets. So she's cutthroat. You have women now having sex while on the phone with their significant other. In the actual act of having sex, being caught in the act having sex. And this goes on for months and months and months, sometimes years. This goes on and you don't understand why you can't connect to your chick. And then you find out a lot of guys take it and they don't say anything about it. So when her inner hoe is activated, now she's going to get payback, because depending on what she's mixed that with, whether she drinks, in a lot of cases these women are going to be heavily engaged in alcohol, socializing. You'll see a lot of them always posting their drink. The drink is to numb them, because they can't have just a drink. They have to get the drink and the dick. So these ingredients go into this pot with emotional damage. One, from my understanding, being the daddy issue. Two, the ignorant arrogance. See, women now have an ignorant arrogance that if they be a hoe, it's going to get them the fruits of life, the spoils of life. So you have women that hoe for materialistic gain, from a financial gain. So they feel it is an even trade-off. This is why OnlyFans has bloomed the way it has bloomed. This is why you have the premium Snapchats. So she feels that, the men are not. I'm looking at my friends go through these heartbreaks with men that may not be on the level in which she thinks she should get. So they just say, hey, I'm just going to back out. I'm just going to go ahead and take the whole route first. And they get this money and they think going into the next scenario with the money cancels out their whole history. They think going into these new relationships cancels out the whole history, because they say, well, I got my own bag. That does not matter. So these are a few of the things that activates her inner hoe. She gets financial gain. She gets attention. She gets, protection, provision. And the other, she gets revenge. She gets revenge on the father that never became a dad to her. Because you must understand, women yearn for masculine presence, guidance, love, and affection, because it is different from a mother's. It is different from the parental connection and the parental love. So you must keep that in mind. But if you notice, the guys that cuff hoes, they have a certain type of profile. They're a certain type of archetype. The one that cuff hoes and they get embarrassed, they get treated a certain way. It's one thing to be embarrassed in private or cheated on in private. It's another to be cheated on in public. That's two levels of disrespect, and they're not close. But this is why I say what you do or don't do does impact someone else. Because when women share this information that they have treated this guy in this manner, she's doing this on the low. She's like, okay, I'm doing that too. Now they get to trade war stories, because birds of a feather flock together. So where one hoe is, there's many. There's many. They just have select, because it's like I say, it's tiers and levels to everything. So you'll have your low tier, the mid tier, the high tier, and then on and on and on. But you fellas must stop cuffing hoes, because once hoes start to feel like their history or their behavior is acceptable, they will not correct it. This is why they must earn any commitment that you give to them. I know they're fine. I know, I know they snatching like a old school Chevy. I get it. But what you do affects someone else. So this is why you have these communities, these sects of these factions of society, or men that disagree with another faction of men. But you guys let me know what you think about this video. I might do a part 2 to this. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Date Master.